How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to another video. So today I am going to be going over my inventory setup for doing my hard clues and what gear I use. I've had quite a lot of people asking for this, so I thought I might as well do it. And I'll probably chuck a few little sort of tips in here that can help you guys do your clues a little bit faster. Now, don't get me wrong, my inventory is far from perfect. There is a lot of stuff I can do to improve on this, and I'll kind of go into that a little bit in the video. And I'm most definitely not the fastest clue scroller in the world. I, like I said, can do about 30 hards an hour, which isn't too bad, but I know that there's a lot of people out there that can do much faster. So yeah, if you want to see sort of a pretty good inventory, but not perfect, then yeah, this is what this is going to be. And if any of you guys do see anything that could be improved or changed, then do let me know, because I'm always looking to improve my clue setup. I do really enjoy doing them, so I really do want to get better at them. But yeah, if you do end up enjoying the video, then do give the video a like. Dislike it if you dislike it, and if you are new, then please do subscribe. We also have a Discord channel, which I will be posting videos as soon as they go live, so the link for that will be down in the description if you want to join that. And yeah, with all that being said, let's get into the video. Alright, let's start off by showing our gear, I guess, would be a good start. So, to begin with, obviously we've got our clue carrier. That's just so that every time we complete a clue, one will instantly go back into our inventory, which is always pretty nice. I have the full Globetrotter outfit, which is extremely useful. So the backpack, basically what that does is it allows you to skip any step. As you can see, you can get a maximum of 4 charges there. That is basically used for things like when you get a wilderness step. There's a few extra ones that you would use this on. Yeah, it's overall just pretty useful. The Globetrotter jacket, this will just teleport you to whichever step you're currently on. So again, there's specific ones that you will want to use this on and want to save your charges for. So you don't want to use these on everything, you know, that would be pretty OP if you could, but yeah, you want to basically be just using this on specific ones, which I'll go into a little bit sort of later into the video. The shorts, basically, this is what I have keybound. It's very useful. It basically does the emote for any costume clue steps that's to spawn Yuri. It's really useful. Just means that when you've got this full outfit, you know, you don't need to actually get your stuff out of the hidey hole, and you can just use these and it'll spawn the double agent or Yuri or whatever. So yeah, that's really good. Next we've got the boots. The charges of this I've never really used. I don't think I've ever used them, in fact. I think, what does it even do? I think it basically just gives you infinite run, which I guess is pretty good, like maybe early game. But yeah, not as useful as the other pieces, and obviously you need it for the full set, so it is useful, but its ability, not so much. And the arm guards, basically this holds, if I just show you, this holds all of the teleports that you get from clue scrolls, and these are obviously very useful for when you need to teleport to certain places. Next up, we have the Grace of the Elves, which is pretty useful. I have mine set to the Overgrown Idols and the Zenaris Fairy Ring. The Idols is really good because there's actually a clue step. Well, there's a few clue steps near that teleport spot, but there's also a gnome glider, which is used for quite a lot of steps as well. So that's really useful. And the other one I have as Zenaris, because there is a clue step in there, so it just saves me using up some of my my charges on my sort of teleport ones. Next up we have the Tyrian Quiver 4, which is again super useful. There's a lot of steps that are sort of within Tyrian, and yeah, this just allows me to get around all of those with no issue. And once you've got it equipped, you won't take you won't take any damage from the traps there, because they just don't happen. But you do need it equipped. We actually found that out on a stream once. I did a bit of science. and yeah, you need to have that equipped to not set off any of the traps. Next up, we have the Luck of the Dwarves. As it doesn't need to be a Luck of the Dwarves, as long as it's got the Miscellanea and the Grand Exchange teleport. That's pretty much all you need on that, I guess. I don't even think it needs the Grand Exchange one, actually. Keldagrim is a kind of okay one. That's as a desperate clue step if you don't have any skips left on your backpack. So yeah, I guess Luck of the Dwarves is pretty good, but it's it's mainly used for the miscellaneous step for me personally. Alright, so now that we've covered the gear, let's quickly go over our inventory. So obviously, you know, you're going to have your clue scroll that you're currently doing, so that's going to be in that first slot. Next up, we have the Passage of the Abyss, which, if you have a look there, we've got the Ring of Dueling, Traveller's Necklace, Skills Necklace, Amulet of Glory, Combat Bracelet, and Ring of Slaying in that first one. This one gets used quite a lot more than the other one. I only recently made my second one, so it's pretty fully charged, I guess, but I probably used this one, I would say, maybe 4 times out of 5 compared to the other one. So yeah, that's what you want in that first Passage of the Abyss. And the other one, we have the Games Necklace, the Enlightened Amulet, the Dig Site Pendant, and the Ring of Respawn. Like I said, this one doesn't get used as much, but there is a couple of spots that you do want to be using these, just to kind of speed it up. I used to have the archaeology book in place of the dig sites pendant, but you know, it's a bit more efficient if you've actually got this. So these are pretty game changing for doing clues quite quickly. Next up, we have Dave's spellbook, which is what quest is that from? I can't remember the quest. I will probably put it on screen if I can remember to do so, but this basically holds chipped teleport tabs in it, so there's quite a few. I need to actually get some, but Watchtower and the Down ones are the most used one, well, the only used ones for HARDS, and you go through them quite a lot. So yeah, this basically just holds all the chip teleports. It saves having loads of different ones in your inventory. You just have them in one slot. Next up, we have the Trollheim Farm teleport. Now this is again a pretty niche one. This is just for one specific step. There is a different way to do it, but this is the quickest way that I've found to get to that spot. So you don't exactly need these, but these are pretty useful. It just means that you get to that spot with sort of no real issue. Next up, we have the Grand Seed Pods. I never use these. I bought 50 of these about 6 months ago. The step that I would use these for, these are basically an emergency item. The step that I would use these for is completely skipped with the backpack. So you never really want to be doing that one. These are just there just in case I ever get that step. So not 100% needed, but yeah, definitely just at least have a couple on you just in case you don't have the charges, or if you don't have the full Globetrotter outfit, these are going to be useful up until that point. Next up, we have the Desert Amulet 4. Both of these teleports that are in here are extremely useful. There's quite a, I think there's 2 or 3 steps in Nada, and there's a step that is in Uzar, which is having that teleport to the Uzar or whatever, however you pronounce it, it saves a good sort of 30 seconds of doing that step. So it's an extremely good thing to go for. So yeah, I would say that's got to be a must. Next up, we have the Archaeology teleport. Now, the only reason that I have these is to go to the Collectors, and it's always going to be for the General Bentnose one. There is a specific step that is for doing a puzzle for him, and this is just the quickest way to sort of get to him without, you know, using the archaeology book and going through different sort of tabs. I guess it would be the same as this one, but yeah, basically, you know, it's just boom, boom, straight there, and no issue. Next up, we have the Attuned Crystal Teleport Seed. Now, basically the only one that gets used here is this one. I don't know how to pronounce it, so I'm not going to attempt it, but yeah, this gets used for a very specific step. It's just basically checking a box that's in one of the buildings there, and yeah, it's very, very quickly to do. So yeah, that one, I would definitely say get that. Try to go for the attuned, just because the other ones, when they run out of charge, they're a little bit annoying to go sort of get those recharges. Next up, we have the Dungeoneering Cape. Now, this gets used a hell of a lot. So, unfortunately, if you want to be somewhat efficient at hard clue scrolls, you are going to need to get 99 Dungeoneering. There's absolutely no doubt about it. Quite a lot of the teleports from this get used. So, yeah, 100% needed item. Next, we have the Ectophile, which, honestly, I didn't even mean to have this in this preset. I used to use this for a specific step, which is very quickly countered by using the Dungeoneering Cape. So yeah, you don't need this, but you know, if you don't have 99 Dungeoneering, there is a step where you will need the Ectophile instead. So I guess it's always a good item to have. Next up, we have the Cape of Legends. Now, this is obviously the Legends quest, and there is a dig spot right outside of it. So this is, again, a 100% needed item. It makes that step extremely quick, and yeah, just overall, good item. You're going to need to get that one. Next up, we have the Karamja Gloves 4. Now, we want to make sure, I don't know which number of glove that is you get to teleport to the gem mines, but whatever that is what you're going to need. There is a step that is basically in the house that's just outside of the gem mines, so yeah, that again, just another necessary item. Next up is the 6th Age Circuit, and again, an item that I didn't really mean to have in here anymore. This basically was a teleport to Guthix's Shrine, which is for a certain step just above there, just north of that. But it's actually quicker to use the mana farm teleport and go from there. So basically that has been replaced by the mana farm teleport. So not needed, but if you don't have mana farm unlocked, you know, this again is a good alternative for that one. Next up, we have the Slayer Cape. Now this actually gets used for quite a few steps actually. So again, unfortunately, if you want to be somewhat efficient at hard clues, you're going to need to get 99 Slayer, which honestly nowadays isn't too much of a task. So it's a good goal to go for anyway, but yeah, it does really speed up quite a lot of the steps. So for the next two, basically we have the Portable Fairy Ring and the Spirit Tree Rerouter. Now these are obviously just quick teleports. You know, this is going to open up the Fairy Ring network, which there's quite a lot of steps to going to certain places in there. And with the Spirit Trees, there's obviously quite a lot there as well. So those are super useful items. Again, I guess you don't need them, but if you want to be efficient, having these in your inventory is, you know, it's pretty much needed. Next up, we have the Pharaoh Scepter. Now, this is a pretty must item, I would say. I have attempted to go for the Scepter of the Gods, which holds a lot more charges than this. However, I'm probably about 15 hours dry of getting that, so this is just a good alternative. Basically, all we do is take these golden statuettes with us in our inventory, so when this runs out of charge, yeah, that just gets recharged, and we use it quite often, so definitely a must item. Doesn't cost a lot of money, so yeah, I would definitely recommend getting that. Next, we have the Thremnic Sea Boots. Again, this is just for one specific step. You can do it by just teleporting to the lodestone, I suppose, or the house teleport at Relica, but this is going to make it much, much faster. So try to go for this, as it'll just speed up your clues. There's absolutely no reason not to go for it, really. You know, it's pretty good progress towards your account anyway, so yeah, definitely another must item. Next up, we have the Wicked Hood Teleport. Now, basically, I only use the Nature Rune Teleport here, as there is a step that is right near the Nature Rune altar, so I would definitely say that that's a good item to have. You, again, guess you don't need it, but it makes it very efficient if you do, so again, try and get that. It's very, very useful. Next up, we have our Meerkat Scrolls. These are pretty self-explanatory. They're going to be for our Meerkat pouch. The good thing about using these is that it basically negates any of the enemies from spawning when you do a dig spot, so any of the wizards do not spawn when you use this. So it makes those sort of steps of clues much quicker because you're not having to be in combat and stuff. So I would definitely say get these. They are a little bit pricey, I guess, 5k, 5.5k each, but you know, overall, in the amount of time that you're going to save with these, absolutely worth it. Next up, we have the power burst of acceleration. Now, there's a couple of steps in the jungle that you're going to want to be using this for. It just lets you basically zoom all the way across it without having to run there. It'll probably save you a good sort of 10-15 seconds on that clue if you use this instead of not. So again, it's just to be a little bit more efficient on certain clues and certain steps. So again, you know, these cost basically nothing. Yeah, like 5k for 4 sips. So yeah, definitely get this. You know, it's going to speed up your clues a hell of a lot. And for the next two, basically we just have the inactive versions of the fairy ring and the tree rerouter. These, just bring these so that once the active ones run out, you're ready to just instantly pop a new one, and yeah, away you go. And lastly, we have our Meerkat pouch. Obviously, this is something that we're going to need to use these the fetch casket scrolls, and they are extremely useful. They speed up your clues a hell of a lot, so absolutely worth getting. They are, again, pretty expensive, like 50k, 51k, but you actually get quite a lot of these just doing clues anyway, so you can pretty much maintain your own Meerkat pouches. So yeah, just use them. They do speed up your clues a hell of a lot as well. Now, for anyone that is actually wanting to do clues properly, the biggest tip that I can give you guys is to join the Clue Chasers Discord. There is an absolute ton of information in there. There's a load of setups, gear setups, inventory setups. There's a load of stuff to show where to surge and bladed dive and stuff. There's absolutely loads of stuff. So if you're not already in that and you are wanting to do clues, I would 100% recommend joining that. There's actually quite a lot of stuff that I have picked up on there. Basically, there is a pretty good infographic thing that basically shows which clue steps you want to be doing a backpack skip or doing a jacket sort of teleport. And yeah, they're super useful. So like I said, if you haven't already, then do join that. There's just so much information, it's unreal. So another tip that I would give you guys is make sure that you have certain things keybound. Things like the Globetrotter shorts that mean you don't have to go searching for an emote, and it's basically just a press of a button and that step's kind of already done for you. I also have my summon special ability keybound so that I can just dig as soon as I've like bladed dived or whatever to a certain spot, and yeah, that just speeds up clues a hell of a lot as well. And I guess the final little tip that I can say to start making sure that you're doing when you're doing clues is make sure you know which way you want your camera to face when you're teleporting to a certain clue step. This took me a little bit of time to get used to doing, and it's very subtle, but it saves an absolute ton of time in the long run. So every time that you know that you want your camera to be facing south, for instance, make sure you're already doing that as you're teleporting, so that once you've teleported, you're already facing the right way. That will actually save you a huge amount of time over the course of doing hundreds of clue scrolls. But besides that, there's not really a lot that I can personally tell you guys to do as tips. Like I said, go check out the Clue Chasers Discord. There is so much information in there that it's unreal. I haven't even begun to process most of it just because it will take a hell of a long time to get used to doing a lot of that certain stuff. So I will be using that, and I do recommend it to you guys. So like I said, if you haven't already, do go join that. But yeah, I think that is going to do it for today's video. I think this is probably going to be a pretty long one, so hopefully you guys found it enjoyable and you did watch it all the way through. If you did enjoy it, then do give the video a like, dislike it if you dislike it, and if you are new, then please do subscribe. And as usual, I will catch you in the next one.